Man, that car goes so fast. I'd like one, but, because I don't have the money right now. Hi, James from EngVid. I'm looking at some serious automobiles. They are so cool, and they go so fast, it's incredible. Oh, $50,000. Oh, I thought so. It's more money than that. Anyway, today we're going to do a lesson on because and so. The reason why is because a lot of students get confused with, and I love the word confused, so let's change that too. A lot of students don't understand the difference between when to use so or because. So they generally, I'm using so again, use because. It's easier. But today we're going to learn the difference so you can start using it in your language like a native speaker. Okay? Let's go to the board. He said I'm fat, so I hit him. Blam! I hit him because he said I was fat. Blam! What's the difference? Mr. E punched me twice, right? It hurt. Still hurting, all right? Do you know the difference between so and because? I can speak English. Because you're reading the sentence, it seems to be the same thing. I said fat, I got hit, right? Right. But how do we know the difference and what is the difference? Let's go to the board and look at the grammar to start with. And then afterwards, we'll show examples of how it's different, all right? So you can start using it right away. First of all, I'm going to start with because. It's easy. You'll notice a little here, a little here and a lot there. Because. It's a reason. It's why. So when you use because, somebody usually says to you, why? And then you say, because. I am late. Why? Because the train was late. I am happy. Why? Because I won $1 million. I am happy. You got it. All right. It's a conjunction. So what it does is it takes two statements and puts them together. I did it because it was the right thing. It brings two statements together. Conjunction. Con means with, and junction like a joint, joined with each other, right? So it's a basic conjunction. Now what we want to look at is so. Here's where the difficulty comes in. Because so is a conjunction as well. You notice Mr. E is holding a box, and it's saying, look, they're both the same. They're both conjunctions. They both join statements together. It was hot, so I bought an ice cream, or I bought an ice cream, right? So you go, what? You bought an ice cream? Yeah, I bought an ice cream. It was hot, so I bought an ice cream. Cool? So when you're doing that, you're joining it together, just like the conjunction for because. Cool? And that's what causes the problem. They're both conjunctions. But so answers a different question. When you say the reason or you answer why for because, I am fat because I eat too much food. This is the reason. So is more of a result. What happened? Okay, it was raining very, 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 very hard, so I got wet. What happened? Well, it was raining really hard. What happened? I got wet. Oh. You could say this is the reason, and that's why they're conjunctions. But then so goes on to it telling you what happened, the next thing that happened, the next step. It doesn't always give you the reason for it. All right? He ate dinner at 7 o'clock, so I had dinner at 7:30 because I was hungry too. Notice I said because, that was the reason, but I said this happened, and the reason was because I was hungry too. I've taken them and joined them together to show you a little bit of a difference. This is like action to action, and this is why the action happened. All right? There's another difference with so that I like that should help you with them. So is also an adverb. We use it to show the extent or the range, how far it is. I'll give you an example. You know me. James talks very fast. You can also say, James talks so fast, half the time I can't understand him. And you'll go, why? He goes, yeah, he talks so fast, and it tells me the range. And what we have here is verb plus so. And that's how we show the adverb, how it works together, okay? Right? Or, she looks so good tonight. She looks so good. It's a big range. She looks really good. Smashing. Right? We can also use it to tell truth. What? Yeah, I thought so. You didn't know that, right? Yeah. Well, I think so. In saying I thought so, I believe this is a truth statement. This is true. Or I think so. I believe it is true. Because doesn't have any of that. Because it's limited to conjunction function only. All right. So I hope you got this. Okay, so we got the difference. There's one thing for because, right? It's a conjunction, and it answers why, the reason why. And for so, we have two things. But the first thing we have to look at is it answers the question of result. What happened, right? This, so this happened, right? People aren't buying, so we dropped our prices. So what happened? Prices were dropped, okay? But it can also be an adverb, modifying a verb, so verb plus so, saying how fast, how slow, how high, how low. Or we can use it in a statement or a phrase, I thought so, I think so, to talk about truth. You like that? Good. Give me a second, we're going to put it together. Snap, and I'm back. All right, so board change, meaning new lesson. What we're going to do now, we've already discussed what the differences are, and we talked about the grammar. Let's use it as examples, all right? So, Canadians are something polite, we don't talk to each other. Well, what would that be? All right, we're going to look at two things. Is it because? Canadians are because? No. We're going to say so polite. And remember, there's a couple of things we learned about so. So is a conjunction. In this case, is it acting like a conjunction? No, we're using it as an extent. We're talking about the range, right? Extent. Like so hot, so cold. They're so polite, right? That they don't talk to each other. And it's true. You'll see two Canadians walk by, smile, and say nothing because they don't want to interrupt each other's personal space. It's quite cute. All right, next. How about this one? Are you sick? Yes. I thought because... Well, it doesn't seem like we're offering up a reason, is it? No. So you'd probably say, I thought so. Do you remember we said so introduces truth? I thought so. I think so. Right? So we're talking about truth. I thought you were sick. I believed it was true. Truth. Okay? That's the other reason we use so. Now let's go to the other part of the board here. Okay? I helped him pay for it. Something, he was a nice guy. It seems like I've got two statements here, right? He's a nice guy as a statement, and I helped him pay for it. Okay, so is it I helped him pay for it, so he's a nice guy? That doesn't seem to make sense. So he's a nice guy. How do I know he's a nice guy? It doesn't really answer the question, what happened? What it really answers to the question is, why, right? So we probably put down this. Because. So I helped him pay for it because he's a nice guy. And that is the reason why I did something. And that's what we said. Because is a conjunction that brings two statements together. In this case, gives us the reason, right? Now, how about the last one? I broke it because I had to pay for it. Now I sound kind of crazy. I broke it because I had to pay for it? Probably didn't happen that way. That doesn't seem logical. I think what happened was this. I broke it, and then somebody said, so what happened? And I go, I had to pay for it. Okay? So we're going to use so. And so is what? Remember we said reason? Then we say result. The result of my action, breaking it, caused me to have to pay for it. Remember we said because is for why. And when we say result, and we use so, it's what happened, right? Cool. Hope you liked the lesson because it's a pretty good one. So I know you're going to learn from it. And you've learned 1, 2, 3, 4 different things. Especially, I'm sure you learned the difference between result and reason. So and because. Because it was a good lesson. And, now I got to go. So E, U, I, let's go. Conjunction, right? Don't forget conjunction, reason, and result. And you'll be fine. Anyway, have a great one. But before I go, I need you to go to www.ing as in English, vid as in video.com so you can learn more English with our other instructors because it's a pretty good site. And I know you'll enjoy it. Have a good one. E, let's go. So you don't get any more trouble.